Hello everyone in the next video, and today we will take a look at the Armory and at the 3rd Armored Division, the US 3rd Armored Division, NATO site. So as a short introduction, I've decided that to be professional I should go through all available divisions at WARNO so far. It's a bit of them, which is very nice, and review available units because, as you may guess, divisions or even regiments, like in this case, maybe I should just say the battle groups as it's called, are a vital part of that game. So I've decided to start with NATO and with the 3rd Armored because it's on the left side. So yeah, I will start from the left to right. Today I will only review 3rd Armored, so do not waste too much time. Hopefully it will go smoothly. I'm sure it will not, but we will see. You don't need to watch it, by the way. So that's only for people really interested. Okay, so without further ado, let's go through available units. We have the all tab, but I will start with logistics, and with the logistics we have first unit, which is M151. We can call it Jeep, just Jeep. That's a command vehicle. It doesn't do anything except providing us the command capability, capturing the command points, and that's basically it. And as you may guess, it's very vulnerable. But on the other hand, it's quite fast. It's 72 kilometers per hour off-road, and on the road it's 108 kilometers per hour. Stealth is mediocre, which is fine. It's not a big vehicle, but usually make sure that the sky over it is clear, and also there is no ambushers any around, or any weapon with long range and the open field. So yeah, let's go, let's go, let's go on. And we have another command vehicle, M577 CPC. I would say just a standard command vehicle, quite common. The base for it is, as far as I know, M113. Also you can see beautiful emblem of 3rd Armored. Yep. Also, the armor of it is still, I mean, it's just slightly better than a Jeep, but it's also very vulnerable, and it's definitely slower. It's 54 kilometers per hour off-road. On the road it's 79. Stealth is bad, so yeah. Next we have M2A2 Bradley. Uh, Another common vehicle, but at the same time it's the IFV infantry. I mean, it's IFV infantry fighting vehicle with the trait which is called IFV infantry. So if it fights along infantry, it gives them a boost, so they are not that easily suppressed by enemies, which is very nice. So it's equipped with the autocannon, popular M242 Bushmaster 25 mm, ground-to-ground missile TOW2. That's a very nice ground-to-ground missile, 152 mm, penetration 25, nice suppression, nice range. It's 2.6 kilometer, great accuracy, 65%. Of course, static, so he has to stay in place if he wants to shoot. But that's a really good infantry fighting vehicle, also with that command capability, which is great. Oh, also, of course, medium machine gun M240 7.62, always good stuff. That's a coaxial? Yeah. Uh, yep. Okay. 120 points, quite costly, but definitely worth trying. Stealth, of course, bad, as in case of all armored vehicles. Next, we have the UH-60A Popular Black Hawk, 2 medium machine guns, M240, 7.62 mm. Target range against the helis is 700 meters. Against the ground targets is 1000 meters. Quite good accuracy in motion, I would say. 10%, in static 20%. Nice rate of fire. Of course, stealth bad. That's understandable, but that's a nice speed. 243 kilometers per hour. So yeah, definitely it helps if you want to capture something very quickly and move away. But uh, remember that it's quite vulnerable against any AA, which is quite common on the modern battlefield. So use it wisely. Then we have the UH-60A supply. By the way, it's quite funny. I reviewed so far for logistics vehicles, and none of them had supplies on it. So that's interesting. But that's the first vehicle which has supplies, 1000 supplies. It's again UH-60A Black Hawk. Yeah, the supply version, no weapon on it, so it's very, very vulnerable against anything. But well, in terms of supplies, that's really good choice, I think. Of course, well, debatable. It depends how you play, but worth considering. 45 points, why not? Then we have the field supply point. You can see it. Yeah, it's not visible. Uh, so yeah, do we have any statistics of that? Not really. It's quite weird that it doesn't say how many supplies it has. But as far as I remember, it was 10,000 supplies per that field supply point, and you can only deploy one of them. So let's go further. It's M113A2 supply, 500 supplies. Optics bad, stealth bad, understandable, poor armor, but it was designed to carry infantry to the battlefield, to the front line basically, and do only that. And also medevac in some cases. But that's basically all. It's not the infantry fighting vehicle. It was supposed only to deliver infantry to the front line. So that's all. But it's only 20 points, and I think it's a good deal. Definitely you should have one of them in your decks. Then we have M35 supply truck, 20 points, 500 supplies. He's a bit faster than M113, which is worth noting. I usually prefer trucks, I mean those M35s, because they are faster. So next we have Hemd, and that's a big beast. It's 2,500 supplies, nice speed both off-road and on the roads. Of course, armor doesn't exist on that. A bit more costly because it's 70 points, but that's a really nice supply truck, and I have. It's not a mosquito, it's something else. Anyway, that's all regarding logistics. So mostly our logistics is based upon M113, M35, Hemd. If someone reflects, we can go for this field supply point. I usually do. I quite like it in terms of artillery. I mean, it's okay against AI, probably against humans. It's not that effective because they know how to counter it and destroy quite easily. Also, definitely Black Hawk, something to consider, especially 1000 supplies. If you are pushing hard and you want to resupply your units quickly, I would consider it. Next, we have the infantry tab, and here we have a couple of units. So first we have the Armory rifles, 55 points. Standard issue rifle M16A2, 8 of them. one machine gun, no, I'm sorry, two machine guns, M60, and one M72 low anti-tank rocket launcher. It's only 66 millimeters, penetration 13, distance or target ranges 675, accuracy 45%. Uh, well, definitely it's a good idea to use them inside towns or in the forest. Yeah, with that M72 low, they can destroy either infantry fighting vehicles or old tanks like T-55. I think they should be able to destroy them. I'm sorry. So yeah, for 55 points, definitely I would consider them, and they look really nice. Next, by the way, I think wouldn't be that easier if I show you in the battle group creator, so you would know how many of them we can take, because it's always limited. I'm not sure whether it makes sense or not. Okay, anyway, let's go. Next, we have engineers. That's a command squad with a trait of shock. This unit features hardened soldiers specifically trained and equipped for close quarter battles, assault operations, and hand-to-hand combat. Shock units inflict more suppression when fighting at close combat ranges, including woods and urban terrain. So, yeah, as you can see, they are definitely better in urban terrain, like most infantry, and also in the forest. That's quite. It's nothing. It's not something new, I think. So everyone knows that infantry is best in the forests and in the urban terrain. Also, it depends whether it's regular infantry or light infantry. Light infantry is usually better in forests and also in maneuvers. Regular infantry is good to hold positions in towns and basically holding the front line. So yeah, that's worth noting. That's a command squad, so they can capture command points, objectives. Only equipped with 5 M16A2. So yeah, that's it. 85 points. Next, we have engineers. Engineers equipped again with standard issue rifle M16A2, 9 of them, 1 M60, and 1 satchel charge. Well, basically one guy holds that satchel charge, and he has 5 of them in total. Of course, the target range is 150 meters, so it's like a range of Panzerfaust, or a bit more in Steel Division. Panzerfaust has 120 meters, and the satchel has 150, and I'm really impressed how far he can throw it. It's amazing, bro. Yeah, accuracy. It's weird that it has accuracy. Yeah, 39%. Uh, well, quite effective against infantry in either in urban terrain or in the forests. They also have that shock trait, so that's definitely nice. And how many of them we have in that squad? Do we know? It's 10. Okay, so that's a 10-man squad. Do we have that information? Yeah, we have assault squad, infantry squad, around 10 soldiers, specialized in close range combat and in urban building environment. That's obvious. Then we have 5-man engineers with the Flash, and the Flash is incendiary rocket launcher, M202, 66, one of them, 8 rounds. And of course M16A2. Yeah, that accuracy of that Flash is quite nice, 87%. Nice rate of fire. Unfortunately only 5 of them, so yeah, I would definitely maybe not really consider, but it depends on the map, the area where you play. I usually don't use them, and also they have that shock trait. Then we have engineers with the Dragon, again the shock trait, M16A2 as a standard issue rifle, and one M47 Dragon, which is basically, we can call it a Javelin, or the old version of Javelin. A 127 mil penetration 14, 6 rounds of them. That's of course ATGM, anti-tank guided missile. So the range is 100. Oh, I'm sorry, 1500 or 1.5 kilometer. Which is nice. I mean, it's all about the placement, but the accuracy is poor. It's only 40%. So as you may guess, they miss a lot of shots, and really they like to miss shots. And also the penetration is good against infantry fighting vehicles like BMPs or the old tanks like T-55. They should deal with it, but yeah, due to that poor accuracy, they are not that good. But that's a 10-man squad, so yeah, definitely, yeah, I would consider them. Then we have a Freeman fire team leader, of course the command trait or the leader trait, and IFV infantry trait. So IFV infantry unit take less suppression in combat when near an infantry fighting vehicle, like the Bradley, for example. So they have M16A2, one of them, one Colt commander, or no, I'm sorry, two Colt commanders, and one M72 low 66mm 4 rockets available, 13 penetration, 45 static accuracy. Well, as a support for your infantry to boost experience, why not? But 85 points also debatable. Then we have the fire team low, so they are equipped with 4 M16A2. Oh, by the way, infantry fighting vehicle, or IFV infantry trait, as it's called. So 4 M16A2, 2 M249, 249, 1 M72 low. Again, 50 penetration, same accuracy. Yeah, definitely anti-infantry unit, I would say, especially with those two light support weapons. Then we have fire team, and that's 84. So we have 4 M16A2, 2 M249, and one 84 millimeter anti-tank rocket launcher. 4 rockets available, penetration 17, range 675. I think that's the same range as low exactly, and better accuracy. Better accuracy? Yeah, 55% accuracy. Absolutely great unit in the towns, keeping them in close range to enemy tanks entering the city, and they can deal with a lot of different tanks. Of course, uh, those top-notch tanks can be unpenetrable by a single shot, but two shots sometimes uh, do the job. So, yeah, that's a nice unit. It's sad that it's only 6-man squad. Uh, then we have the fire team with a dragon. Again, that's a IFV infantry, 4 M16A2, 2 M249, 1 M47 Dragon 2, which is a better version of Dragon. Again, that's ATGM, anti-tank guided missile, penetration 18, range same as in case of Dragon 1, so it's 1.5 kilometer or 1.6 kilometers. Accuracy better, it's 50% compared to 40% of Dragon 1, but still for the ATGM, I think it's not great accuracy. And usually I'm not a huge fan of those dragons. That's because of that poor accuracy. Of course I have them in deck and I use them, and I usually hope that they will do their job, and sometimes they do. But yeah, the accuracy is quite poor, unfortunately. So I prefer to use those 84 or the low teams, put them inside the town or the forest, and deal with enemies this way. Of course, dragons are great against light vehicles. If you use them properly, it can be really deadly. Next, we have mech rifles or mechanized rifles. They don't have any trait, which is weird. I think they should have that IFV trait, especially that they are called mechanized rifles. So 8 M16A2. That's by the way 11-man squad, which is very nice. 3 M249. A lot of ammunition by the way. 2400. And 1 M47 Dragon 2. And that's a base infantry unit, I think, for that division, for that battle group. Yeah, I really like them. I unfortunately I cannot check what kind of vehicle they use for travel. I would need to create a battle group to do that. Probably M113. Some of them can travel by Bradley, by the way, which is a great deal. I mean, it costs more, but getting Bradley with infantry, it's really good. Did I miss anything regarding them? Not really. So we can go further. M16, 2-man squad, 1 M16, 7.62 millimeter range, 1.2 kilometer, 55% accuracy, quite solid. Are they popular in WARNO? Well, in Steel Division they are great. I mean, any kind of support units, those automatic machine guns, medium machine guns, and heavy machine guns sections are usually fantastic because yeah, there's a lot of infantry on the battlefield. In Warno, well, I think I haven't used them ever. Huh, that's a good question. Anyway, then we have M2HB. That's 12.7 mil, 1.4 kilometer range, 30% accuracy, uh, better HE, and better suppression, of course. That's a heavy machine gun. That's a beast. But usually I don't use them. Then we have the military police. That they have that special trait called military police. Military police units grant a suppression regeneration bonus and remove any unsteady traits of nearby units. And that's quite interesting. Uh, Definitely makes sense to put them around your standard regular infantry. So yeah, for 15 points, I think it's worth trying. Why not? And they are equipped with 4 M16A2 and 1 M60. So nothing special. Then we have the military police again, it's for 40 points. But instead of M16, they are equipped with 1 M67 RCL recoilless rifle. It's called like that. It's kind of similar to that bazooka used by US Army. 13 penetration, so yeah, effective definitely against infantry fighting vehicles or all tanks. Range 1.4 kilometer, poor accuracy 30%, understandable. Let's go. Further, we have TOW 1, or it's called like WANTO or ITO. I would say it's 1 because here we have 2, or maybe not. Who knows that? So for 80 points we have TOW, I will call it TOW 1, 152 millimeter, 6 rounds, penetration 20, which is nice. Ground target 2.6 kilometers, so also very nice range. Usually it outranges main tank gun, so that's a good deal. Yeah, definitely good unit to put in the forest or in the buildings and control some area. Uh, for 80 points though, so that's quite costly, but still, it's really effective. Nice accuracy, 60%, so yeah, they shouldn't miss so many shots. And if you can keep them supplied, they can be really effective. Okay, so then we have the TOW 2, which is a better better brother of TOW 1. It's again 152 mil, but with 25 penetration, same range, and slightly better accuracy. And that beast can deal with any kind of tank on the battlefield. it just demolishes it. So any T-72, T-80, they are going to be raped by that little boy. That's a fantastic piece of equipment. Put them inside the building or in the forest and you are good. Of course, keeping them alive is hard. In the buildings they have a better chance to survive, but as long as you can keep them alive, they are really, really effective. 400 points though. And then we have the transports for the infantry here. I think so. I mean, I'm quite... I don't see M113 though. And I'm wondering whether they are the vehicles available for our infantry. So, I'm not sure. I would need to check that. Let's see. I will take the third armored as a template and I will take... No, I can see that we have M113, we have all, yeah. M2A2 Bradley available as a vehicle. It has what kind of traits? Yeah, it has transport traits and IFV infantry trait. The Jeep, the Humvee, yeah, most of those units can travel by Bradley, and that's really good to take those units just because of the Bradley, because you can see it's equipped with the Bushmaster. It's a great autocannon with a tow 2, which is absolutely fantastic. So of course it costs 70 points, so plus 35 it's 105 points. I think so, yeah. Is that counted? Yeah, I think so. So yeah, I mean in the price of the cost of less people in the squad, but still getting the Bradley for such price, it's a great deal. Maybe I should stay here in that tab. Would that be easier to navigate? Yeah, I think so. I will stay here. So yeah, I will not go back to them. You know that you can travel by M2A2 Bradley, which is great. And the rest of the units usually Jeep or M113, the most popular one. So next tab, and let's go to artillery tab. And here we have M30. It's 107mm mortar, 80 rounds. That's a lot. That's way more than in Steel Division, by the way. Yeah, I would prefer to have 80 rounds in Steel Division, definitely. 50 points only. Nice HE, nice suppression. HE stands for high explosive. Uh, is there any description? The higher the HE value and the closer a target is to the point of impact, the higher the physical damage and suppression a target will receive. Yeah, that's quite simple. It's a nice range, 5.6 kilometer. So yeah, of course they are static. I mean they cannot move. They don't have any armor around them. So if enemy finds them, they are usually dead. But AI is stupid to do that. So against AI, definitely great unit. Against humans, not really. As far as I know, nobody wants to use mortars, which is sad, but it is what it is. But here we have the answer for that. We have M106A2 mortar. Again, that's 107 mil. Only 10 point. I'm sorry, 40 points. So maybe not only. So 40 points more for that body. It's based on M113, by the way. Same mortar. Also M2HB, 12.7 millimeter heavy machine gun, just in case of enemy infantry somewhere close. Slightly worse range, and I don't understand why is that. I think it should be the same. Does it really matter whether it stands in the vehicle or it's standalone? Not really. I think yeah. So that should have the same range, but still it's around 5 kilometers. Nice HE, nice suppression. Definitely against infantry worth considering. I think it can even destroy enemy vehicles with that 107 mil. It should be possible. How effective it is? Well, it's not effective, but it's doable. And then we have finally something I really love, and it's M109A2 howitzer gun. It's classic 155 millimeter NATO howitzer, range 21 kilometers. HE 3.1, suppression 213, and that's a beast. And I love it. And I know that people also don't want to use them too much. And also, to be effective using that unit, you have to relocate them quite often, so to avoid any counter battery fire. But still, I really love them. Maybe that's because I'm an artillery fan, so artillery and infantry in most. So yeah, definitely 210 points though. It's quite expensive, but yeah, I simply love it. Next, we have our rocket artillery, 320 points for M270 MLRS cluster, multiple rocket launcher. It's equipped with M26 227 mil rockets, 12 of them per salvo. Does it shoot with salvos? Or in the, I should say, volleys. Yeah, it's a cluster munition, high explosive anti-tank also. So yeah, it should be quite effective against armor, against vehicles, against infantry. So yeah, great stuff. That's for sure. Quite costly. The range is absolutely stunning. It's 42 kilometers, like in real life. Those bastards are really good, but they are costly. And then we have M270 MLRS. That's the same guy with different camo though, and with different rockets. So we have M26 or M26 227 mil. So that's the same caliber, but with way more HE and the suppression. Also, it has the indirect and high explosive. Same range, 42k. I'm not sure, but are they better against infantry? A cluster munition is a container either air-dropped or ground-launched that carries numerous other smaller explosive projectiles called submunitions. The submunitions are released just before the container hits the ground in order to produce maximum effect. So yeah, that should be effective against infantry. But the high explosives is way bigger, way higher in case of that version, and it costs 400 points. Jesus Christ. That's a costly bit. And also the supply cost is yeah, it's huge. Oh my goodness, yeah, it's 600 supplies for that cluster version and 576 supplies for that. Maybe that's why I don't use them. But anyway, that's all regarding the artillery. You can see how many of them we can deploy. So we have 2 tabs per 4. Yeah, well, I will not go through all of that. Uh, the saddest thing is that we can only deploy in total 4 M109. So you can see we have 2 tabs of 2. If we want to increase the experience of them, we can only deploy 1. So I usually don't do it because I prefer to oversaturate area with artillery, especially with those 155 mil shells. By the way, only 36 of them. So yeah, resupplying them is quite vital, I would say. Also, they consume a lot of supplies. Uh, yeah, that's it. Yeah, if we had Excalibur runs like nowadays, probably 1 would be better than 4. But we don't have Excalibur, so yeah, I prefer to oversaturate area, like in an old style. And let's go to tanks because we have a few more tabs left, and fortunately there's not many of them. I mean the units. So we start with M901 ITV. Which is basically the anti-tank destroyer equipped with TOW 1, 20 penetration, 2.6 kilometer range, 60% accuracy. Good shit, I would say, but the biggest issue is the armor and quite poor stealth. So if enemies notice that boy, They can easily destroy them either by using artillery or planes or even the tank if they are able to shorten the distance, because yeah, it usually outranges enemy main tank gun or tank main gun, I should say. Yeah. And it has the trait of amphibious, so amphibious vehicles can enter and cross waters at 1/3 of their normal off-road speed. Yeah, it's quite slow, but they can do it. So, and then we have M901A3 ITV. The only difference is, of course, the TOW 2 with 25 penetration, same range, and better accuracy. For 100 points, and TOW 1 for 80 points. We can deploy a lot of them, by the way. We can deploy 9 of M90, and in total 12 of those TOW 2 versions. So that's a lot. Well, it depends. I think I have one of them in my deck, but yeah, I keep them next to the tank and slightly behind, so they are able to hit enemies which can spot my tank, and my tank can spot them, but they are kind of protected by the tank because it's in the front. So that's how I use them usually. Whether it's good or not, it's up to you. Then we have M728 CEV main battle tank, and I don't want to talk about that because it looks like garbage. Jesus Christ, what is it? So the tank gun is the short barrel M135, 165mm, 30 rounds only available, a lot of HE, a lot of suppression, 1.7 kilometer range, nice accuracy. Yeah, that's a tank designed to fight against enemy infantry, that's for sure, and I never use them. Yeah, heavy machine gun on top, and also medium machine gun, the coaxial version. Yeah, for 90 points, maybe, maybe not. I usually don't use them. And now we have what I like the most, and that's M1A1 Abrams, and that's a command version. So 280 points, front armor 17, and that's quite now it's quite important. We can start talking about the armor. Yeah, you can see by the way that M728 has 13 front armor, 3 side, 2 rear, 2 top. So yeah, I would say easily destroyable by most of anti-tank weapons. But in case of Abrams, M1A1, it's worth noting, we have 17 front, 7 side, 4 rear, and 3 top. So quite solid. Tank gun, of course, 120 mil, M256, 40 rounds available, 20 penetration. It's not superb, but I would say it's really really good. I mean, everybody loves Abrams, right? Yeah, I'm sure everybody. Target range is 2.2, or I should say 2.3 kilometers. Yeah, which is a bit smaller than in case of ATGMs like TOW. But still, that's a really really nice range. Accuracy static is 68. That's because it's of higher experience. It's veteran. That's why it's 68. Normally it's 60 as a base, as far as I know. In motion, it has 62%, so he can move and shoot as accurate as in static position, which is absolutely amazing. That's fantastic piece of hardware, I would say. So yeah, my most beloved tank, absolutely. I just love it. And of course the heavy machine gun on top and medium machine gun as coaxial. So yeah, against infantry also, which is very very nice. And now we have M1A1 Abrams. That's basically the same tank. The only difference is that it's not the command. So it's a bit cheaper, 250 points. Same tank gun, M256, 120 mil, same ammunition, penetration, range, accuracy, everything is the same. Okay, so as a base it has 65, not 60. I'm sorry. Okay. Of course, M2HB, M240. Well, absolutely fantastic tank. I've just said that. So we can go forward. Also nice speed. It's for tank. Just love it. And here we have M1A1, and that's a heavy armor version. So you can see it has more front armor. It's 20, side is 8, and red and top stays the same. It's 4 and 3 respectively. Yeah, that front armor 20. It's really high. It's really hard to penetrate it. So you can see that standard M1A1 has 20 penetration per front, and it has 20 armor per front. So yeah, it's really hard to penetrate it. Definitely ATGMs are useless if they hit front. Even the tank gun can be used. I mean, it's not useless, of course, it will penetrate sooner or later, but rather later than sooner. So yeah, it can destroy quite a few enemy tanks before it gets destroyed. So yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. Of course, that's a command tank version, so it costs a lot. It's 350 points. But the main tank gun, oh my god, yeah, the tank gun or main gun. Well, main tank gun, I could also say that. It has more penetration. It's 22, so you can already see that it's powerful beast. Rest of statistics is the same target, same accuracy, but that penetration 22 and the frontal armor 20, it's stunning. So by the way, you can only have one of them, but we have we can have more of them because we have in total 10 of them. I mean the standard version, not the common version. It's M1A1 heavy armor Abrams, front 20, penetration 22 as in case of our command, for 320 points. That's absolutely state of the art tank. Look at that. It's beautiful. Yeah. And since it's armored division, that's why we have it. So you can see in the top right corner we have information that it's an armored battle group, armored division, and the tier A, and that's why that's tier A, because it has fantastic vehicles, absolutely fantastic. And you can see that's the armored one. So there is a lot of tabs only for one activation point per tank unit, so we can put a lot of them here. Really a lot. We can have in total 24 M1A1 Abrams, unless we want to increase the veterancy for 250 points. And we could have 10 heavy armored version, so yeah, that's a lot. We don't even have so many tabs for them. But anyway, that's all regarding tanks. Let's jump into reconnaissance or the recon. And here we have the scouts, very basic unit with the trait called recon. And recon units can deploy further ahead. That's a nice thing, but only during the initial deployment phase. Yeah, so we can deploy them, which is very nice. So we can get some reconnaissance, some situational awareness around us, and also the corrected fire for our artillery, by the way. So yeah, that's really good. Very good optics. Stealth is absolutely exceptional, which is great. So it's really hard to find them. They are lightly equipped, of course. That's understandable. So nothing special. And they can travel by M113A3 ACAV, which has that kind of interesting tank gun. It's M40A1 RCL. You can see that guy on top. Yeah, well, it's hard to show. Okay, that one. It has 17 penetration. That's quite a lot. It's 106 mil, 20 rounds. 1.4 kilometer range, accuracy very poor. So whether it's good or not, I mean, it's additional 45 points. Usually I wouldn't go for that because it's waste of points. They are recon. They are supposed to perform reconnaissance. Gives us a bit of information about the battlefield, and just stay silent. And they should be cheap. That's their goal. 30 points only, so it doesn't make sense to pay more for that vehicle, which is easily destroyable. On the other hand, we can go for standard M113, but that doesn't make sense, I think. The most viable option is M151, so the standard Jeep, and we can sell it when we deploy those guys, or we can go for the recon version of that Jeep. It's M151A2 M2HB, yeah, equipped with a heavy machine gun. Of course, it's not the best idea to engage enemies with that Jeep, but it has really good optics, or I should say just good optics, and good stealth. So as for vehicle, that's really nice. And we can get like 2 recon units almost for the same price of that transport. So yeah, I usually go for the standard Jeep or for the recon Jeep. Also, of course, we can go for the Black Hawk. That's, by the way, Black Hawk equipped with 2 medium machine guns. So interesting choice. I think it depends on your play style. The thing is that if you go for that Black Hawk, well, it costs 60 points, so it's a double price of scouts themselves. So yeah, I think that's a choice depending on your play style. I usually don't do it. I prefer another scout jeep. Then we have the snipers, which were added not that long time ago. They are quite interesting. I really like that M24. If you ever played Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the old one, you had to play with M24. It's a fantastic rifle. Nice HE. It's interesting, by the way. Of course, nice suppression. 1.2 kilometer range against the ground targets, and like 700 against helicopters. That's interesting, by the way. Do they do any harm to helicopters? Accuracy 57. So yeah, as a recon unit, why not? Stealth is exceptional, optics very good. Couple of interesting traits. So yeah, the recon trait, so they can be forward deployed. The airborne. Airborne units can deploy further ahead, even further than standard recon units, using forward deployment, but only during the initial deployment phase. So yeah, basically, uh, it's a recon button boost, like recon plus, I could say. So yeah, they can really be put forward a lot, and it's nice because you can see enemies movement, but well, that's a two-man squad. They can do too much, but they can be annoying for enemy infantry, that's for sure. And they have that sniper trait. Sniper units gain a 500% damage bonus, plus 1 stealth level and accuracy bonus when not moving. The sniper must remain still for 10 seconds. Yep, that's really nice, and I love their ghillie. Or I would, maybe I not love it. I would prefer more like in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. But that's fine. And they transport only by M998 Humvee, which we can sell almost immediately after unloading our snipers. Next we have M9A9 Fist V, or FISTV. It looks, by the way, like a rocket launcher, tow launcher. But it's only the recon unit. With the recon trait and with the amphibious trait, optics very good, but stealth is mediocre, so I don't think it's a good choice at all. But then we have M3A1 Bradley CFV with the recon trait, equipped with lovely Bushmaster 2 M242 25mm autocannon, tow 2 missiles, 152mm, 25 penetration. We already know that. Optics very good, stealth mediocre, understandable because of the size of the vehicle, but that's something definitely worth consideration. Uh, Keeping them quite close to your tanks, giving them a better overview of enemy enemies' movement, so they can spot enemies in the forests, any ATGMs, and they can really nicely support your tanks. So I would go for it. You can get even 12 of them in total, so that's a great deal. If you go for the higher veterancy, higher experience, up to veteran level, you can deploy 8 of them in total for 120 points. Absolutely, yes. Then we have M150. Again, it's just M113 with heavy machine gun and with the old TOW. It's not even ITOW, it's just a TOW. I think there is a difference. I need to Google it. It's quite interesting. 16 penetration, nice range, 2.6 kilometers in case of all TOWs. 50% accuracy, which is okay. 40 points. I think it can be used like kind of a TOW team in general. 16 penetration only, so yeah, against IFVs or other vehicles, against some tanks or the side shot against enemy tank. It has nice range, yeah. The stealth is mediocre, optics is good, which is nice. Maybe yes, maybe not. It's up to you. I don't think I use them, but they are something to consider. That's for sure. It's not that stupid. But then we have couple of helicopters, and here we have OH-58C Scout equipped with the Gatling 7.62mm Gatling gun, only one, which is weird. Why not two? Okay. Optics very good, stealth bad, that's of course understandable. Against enemy helicopters, 1 kilometer range. Against ground targets, also 1 kilometer. For 80 points, we can deploy 12 of them. Not really. I think manpads can easily destroy them, so I wouldn't go for them. I don't use them, and I don't like them. And here we have a bit better version of OH-5D, 580D, a Kiowa. And that's a popular heli, by the way. This one is equipped with air-to-ground rockets, Hydra 70, it's a 70mm, 14 of them, 2.1 kilometer range. Of course, well, its accuracy is not very good, but if you find enemy infantry flanking you, or you want to quickly support your infantry in general, or some flank, yeah, you can use them. Also, they are recon, but since they are flying, they are easily destroyable either by enemy helis or enemy planes in general. So for 100 points, I don't think it's a great idea. And here, on the other hand, here we have quite the same heli. It's OH-58D Kiowa, but that one is equipped with AGM Hellfire. And Hellfire has 24 penetration, and that's a lot. 2.8 kilometer range, that's also a lot. And 70% static accuracy and 50% motion accuracy. For 120 points, you can think of it as flying TOW, flying anti-tank destroyer, I would say. Or basically the tank destroyer, not the anti-tank destroyer, tank destroyer. And well, yeah, the optics exceptional, speed is quite okay. Of course, it's vulnerable again against enemy planes, enemy helis, enemy manpads, and all that stuff. But if used wisely, maybe. Yeah, why not? I don't use them, but it's something maybe I should consider. Yeah, but that's all regarding the recon tab, or reconnaissance tab, and now we have the AA, only 4 units available, and that's a classic Stinger. You can have a lot of them, so you can have 40, 40? Yeah, my goodness, yeah, 40 Stingers, unless you go to the higher veterancy, and I think it's a good choice, or maybe not really. Not really. It's better to have more of them. So yeah, the Stinger team, Stinger post, infrared 6 rockets, so yeah, you need to keep them supplied. Helicopter range 2.6 kilometer, aircraft range 2.4, 60% accuracy, which is nice. Stealth is exceptional, and I think that's one of my beloved, best anti-air units. I really like them. Uh, they get into the field quite quickly by traveling using M151. You can also sell it for 20 points, which is great. Yeah, they are just good. You can put them in the forest, you can put them inside the building, and they can do quite a lot of harm to your enemies. So definitely yes. Then we can have 16 pivots in total. It's M163 pivot. I think it's also based on M113 transporter. It's equipped with the Gatling. That's by the way radar guided guidance radar. The weapon uses a radar for aiming and fire control, which is yeah, that's an accurate beast. It's 20 mil caliber, 1.6 thousand rounds available. Ground target 1.2. I never use them against ground targets by the way, but yeah, it can be effective. That's for sure. Helicopter range 2.4 kilometer. Aircraft 2.6 for 75 points. Uh, yeah, definitely yes. I really like them, and I usually use them. So, yep, absolutely yeah. Next we have again OH58CS. This time equipped with the Stinger post infrared, only 4 of them for 80 points. Of course, nice accuracy because it's 16 in static and 16 in motion with nice range. But for 80 points, I think I prefer 2 Stinger teams. Yeah. It depends. I mean, in the beginning of the round, maybe yes, or like to keep them somewhere flying behind, and just in case enemy aircraft, I mean not aircraft, I would say enemy helicopter, because it's I think it's more effective against helis. Shows up, you can bring in that OH58C and try to destroy it. But I don't use them. I don't want to spend any activation points, especially you can see it's quite expensive, so I go usually for Stingers and for pivots, and that's all. I think the Chaparral is quite interesting choice. It's equipped with a surface to air missile MIM-72G. Unfortunately only 4 of them, but 3.1 or even 3.2 range against helis, 3.7 against aircraft, 55% accuracy. It can also move. So yeah, I would consider it probably. Why not? But it's 110 points, so it depends. I think I would stay with Stingers and with pivots. So that's all for anti-aircraft units. 2 more left. Now let's jump into helicopters. So here we start with AH-1F Cobra, and you know that guy. It's a beautiful, beautiful helicopter. That's a support version, 120 points. AH-1F Cobra, equipped with a single M1 97 20mm Gatling, and 2 of Hydra 70. In total, it's 76 rockets available with the range of 2.1 kilometer. Of course, it's not a great accuracy, but it's not supposed to have great accuracy. It's supposed to pulverize enemies with those volleys. Definitely yes against enemy infantry. But next we have AH-1F Tow Cobra, and that little boy is also equipped with the Gatling in front of Benef, the fuselage. Major Van Campbell. Okay, that's really nice. But it's additionally, instead of 1 Hydra, it's equipped with ITO, 152mm, 20 penetration, 2.6 range, 60% accuracy for 130 points. and we can have 8 of them, well, I would say yes. That's a flying tank destroyer in general. So if you can keep sky above them clear, use them because they are worth it. And also just in case, 14 70 mil Hydro rockets, as I've said, just in case. But next we have a big boy, and that's, by the way, from the cavalry squadron. If you ever watched We Were Soldiers, you should know that emblem. That's a beautiful AH-64-8 Apache, and that's absolutely amazing, amazing helicopter, attack helicopter. I simply love it. So it's equipped with the Gatling M230 30mm 800 rounds, 1.7 range against ground targets, 1.4 against helicopters, nice suppression. Then two or the pair of Hydra 70 38 per Hydra, so in total 76 rockets to pulverize enemies. And that's only for 175 points. Yes. But if you compare it with the Cobra, I think I would rather go for Cobra. It's cheaper, you can deploy more of them, because as you can see you can have in total only 2 Apache. In case of Cobra you can have 6, and for less money. Well, the veterans is different, but still, I think I would go in that case for Cobra. Unfortunately, is there any other different? Yeah, well, it has the ECM, which stands for Electronic Countermeasures. The ECM reduces the accuracy of missiles and flak fire by percentage. So, if enemy has any manpads or in general any anti-aircraft units around, that ECM decreases their accuracy by 20%, which is, well, which is great, uh, or maybe not great, but definitely useful. In case of Cobra, you don't have anything, so yeah, maybe that's why it's cheaper. But still, I think I would go for Cobras. Anyway, we can go further, and for 240 points we have again Apache, but this time instead of one Hydra we are equipped with AGM Hellfire, and those Hellfires are, by the way, still used by forces around the world, mostly US. Even Poland asked to buy some batch of those Hellfires for the Apaches, so which we are going to have soon. I hope. I hope so. We'll see. 24 penetration for that Hellfire. Well, it says that, I mean, it's marked on red, green red. It may imply that it's bad, but it's not bad. Believe me, it's really good. 24 penetration, 2.8 kilometer range, static accuracy 70%. So I believe he cannot miss a shot. And in motion 52% accuracy. So that's also the tank destroyer. You can have 4 of them in total for 240 points. By the way, they are supposed to work together with Abrams. Mm, that makes a lot of sense. That's how they should be used. So yeah, I would consider, especially that anti-tank version. But we can go further, and we can go for AH-64A Apache ATGM, and that guy, instead of 8 Hellfires and instead of Hydra, has 16 Hellfires on board. And 16 Hellfires can do a lot of harm. So for 35 points more, you can have more Hellfires, and I think it's a good deal because you don't really need those Hydras if you plan to use the ATGM Apache. By the way, that should also, I think, or maybe not really. Well, they are both marked as anti-tanks, so I don't think that ATGM mentioning here, well, there's not many. I mean, there's not big difference between them. So, well, but yeah, definitely 1680 GMs with that beautiful accuracy and 24 penetration. Absolutely, yes. And in total, we can have four of them for four tabs. Ugh, painful, definitely painful. Especially while Cobra is only for 130 points, but well, oh, debatable. Okay, and the last tab, the air tab. And let's start quickly with F4E Phantom 2. That's a anti-aircraft or anti-air unit in general. It's equipped with the Vulcan. That's obvious. The Gatling one, 20 millimeters. Nice ground target. Nice helicopter. I mean, the ranges nice against the ground targets, against the helis, against the aircrafts. It's between 2 and 3 kilometers, which is really nice. Then we have the air-to-air missile. Unfortunately, only two of them. AIM-9J infrared. Against helis, it's 2.1 kilometers. Against aircraft, it's 3.5 kilometers. Uh, Accuracy only 40%, but if you hit enemy plane with that, you should be able to single shot it. And then we have another air-to-air missile, that's AIM-7M Sparrow SEM-ACT radar, 5 of them. Nice HE, nice suppression, uh, absolutely stunning 7.7 kilometer range against enemy aircraft. Of course, well, maybe not stunning because we are talking about the aircrafts only. We cannot hit enemy helicopters. But 50% accuracy in motion. Yeah, usually they miss a few shots, but still that rocket can destroy enemy plane. It's 195 points per plane, and we can have 4 of them in total. Then we have same F4E Phantom 2. That's high explosive version, the support one. Instead of the Sparrow, it's equipped with Mark 82 227 kilogram bombs, 4 of them. For 160 points. Well, why not? Also, it's equipped with those AIM-9J infrared missiles, so if you need to destroy enemy helis, you can use also that high explosive version of F4E Phantom 2. And we can have 4 of them. Next we have F4E Phantom 2, and that's a cluster version. Of course, instead of Mark 82, we have Mark 20 Rogue Eye or MK20 Rogue Eye 2, 227 kilogram bombs with 7 penetration. And also 2 infrared missiles just in case, and also for 160 points. Why not? Also, the speed is quite important. It's 1000 kilometers per hour, or almost 1 Mach, or above 1 Mach. It's something around 1 Mach. And also, we have that agility, indicates a plane's agility and ability to turn quickly. The better the agility, the more chance the plane will have to gain the upper hand in a dogfight. That particular plane isn't supposed to fight in the dogfights, or yeah, basically it's not a fighter. So, but it's good to know. Also, there is a travel time, indicates the travel time between the airport and the map. So when you call it in, it has 10 seconds to arrive, and ECM 20%. And we can have 3 of them for the cost of 160 points, which is nice. And the last F4E Phantom 2, the Napalm version. So yeah, instead of the Mark 20 or MK20 Rockeye 2, we have MK or Mark 77 340 kilogram bombs, 2 of them. Those are napalm bombs. Incendiary munitions are weapons designed to start fires or destroy sensitive equipment by fire. If you want to clear the forest like in Vietnam, go ahead and take that F4E Phantom 2. For 165 points, we can have 3 of them. And again, agility very good, travel time 10 seconds, and ECM 20 seconds. 20%, I'm sorry. Next, we have well-known Warthog, which is called A10A, and that's high explosive version. So everybody knows BRT Gatling gun. That's a GAU 8 Avenger, 30 millimeters, 1000 rounds. Weapon damage 6 penetration. Yeah, it can destroy enemy IFVs and other vehicles. Nice HE, nice suppression. Ranges against the ground targets 2.1 kilometers, against helis 2.8, and against aircrafts 3.1. So just basically for most Gatlings that's the same. Accuracy in motion 31%. Shooting attributes, rate of fire is absolutely exceptional. That's an immense value. And reload time is also ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah. Good. I would say good. But since it's a high explosive version, it's equipped with Mark 82 227 kilogram bombs, 8 of them. It's high accuracy, by the way. But they are unguided, so it's quite interesting that the accuracy is 94%, despite the fact it's unguided bomb, not a laser guide. Two infrared missiles in case of helicopters and enemy aircrafts, and quite interesting attributes about the Warthog, or A10, whatever you want to call it. The agility is exceptional, which is quite weird. The travel time is 12 seconds, but the speed is only 410 kilometers. So, in other words, it is damn slow. So, if you are not sure whether the battlefield or the place where you want to bomb is clear regarding enemy anti-air units, uh, I mean it's easily destroyable because it's so slow. So if there are some anti-air units around the place you want to bomb, don't bring in Warthog because it's going to be shot down. Unfortunately, it's simply very slow. So that's the main problem of that plane. And ECM 15%, cost 210. That I've been using them, but I've realized that it's due to that low speed, it's not that effective, and that's why I usually even prefer that F4E Phantom 2, which costs less. It's much uh, well, faster. So yeah, that's the deal. And that was a high explosive version. We have basically for 255 points A10A Thunderbolt 2 AT, so the anti-tank version. Of course, the same GAU 8 Avenger beneath the front, and air-to-ground missile AGM-65D Maverick. Those are laser-guided bombs or laser-guided missiles, if I can call it. Yeah, they are fire and forget. So after launching, the guidance of the missile no longer requires the active intervention of the operator. So, well, basically they are not laser-guided. They are just infrared. So, uh, yeah, as it says, it no longer requires the active intervention of the operator, which is really nice. I mean, unfortunately, only 4 of them. Well, unfortunately, that's still a lot. You can destroy 4 tanks at one go. 26 penetration. That's a lot. Every tank is basically easily penetrable by that. Target ranges, ground target 3.1 kilometer, accuracy 52%, and that's a bit shame. So yeah, it can miss, despite the fact that's a great missile. It can miss, and that's usually painful for you. So that's it. Next we have F111E, high explosive version, only equipped. Did I miss anything? Any difference? No, it's all good. Let's go back to that boy. F111E, high explosive version, Mark 82, 227 kilogram bombs, 12 of them. Also, so some kind of alarm, my city. Accuracy 98%. That's a lot. I quite don't understand those values here, to be honest. I mean that value in particular. It's quite interesting. The cost is 215. Agility is very good, and that's why I quite don't understand why the agility in that plane is lower than in case of the Warthog. Travel time 10 seconds, ACM 30%, which is really nice, and the speed around 1000 kilometers per hour. It's quite fast, but that's the only weapon it can deploy. So that's it. Then we have the cluster version of the same plane. This time Mark 20 Rockeye 2, 8 of them, 7 penetration. Again, that accuracy is really high and I don't understand why is that. Agility, travel time and ECM and the speed is all the same. Let's go to the next version. That's a napalm version. So 4 Mark 77 340 kilogram bombs. As I've said, if you want to burn some forests or some cities, use those guys. It can be really, really effective. Other parameters, characteristics are the same. And then we have F4G Wild Vessel 5. It looks weird, by the way. Well, those F4E also looks weird. Anyway, that guy is the first SEAD or SEAD plane in our deck. So just a brief introduction. SEAD, aircraft specialist in the anti-radar warfare, i.e. the search and destruction of enemy air defense units equipped with radar. So yeah, that's an anti-radiation missile. As you can see, the trait or the characteristic anti-radiation missile, the missile automatically detects and homes in on enemy radar emissions. So if enemy uses any kind of radar-guided weapon, either it's some kind of the Gatling or some kind of rockets, for example the Kub, OSA, Buk, and all that stuff from the Soviet Union, that missile can find it and destroy it. And that's AGM-40B Shrike anti-radar. And we have 5 of them. 20 penetration, that's a lot because usually anti-aircraft units are not that well protected by their armor, so it should destroy it easily. 4.4 kilometer range, which outranges most of AA, which is also good to know, but first you need to find them. And the motion accuracy, unfortunately, is only 50%, so probably you will miss a lot. And just in case, it also has that air-to-air missile, so yeah, against usually helicopters it's quite okay, and that costs 215 points. You can have 4 of them. And last but not least, and I even would say the best, I also love that plane. It's not as beautiful as F-22, but F-15C Eagle, I would say air domination fighter. You can see that's already anti-aircraft or anti-air unit equipped with one Gatling M61A1 Vulcan 20 mil 900 rounds, then 4 AIM 120A AIMRAM radar missiles. Those are supposed to destroy enemy aircraft 7.7 kilometer range, or mostly, or almost 7.8 kilometer range. Accuracy 62%, rate of fire 32, which is amazing. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go back quickly to F4G. The agility is very good. The air optics is exceptional. The travel time 10 seconds. Speed is almost 1000. I mean above 1000 kilometers per hour. And the ECM is 40%. So it's yeah. So at the same time, it can destroy easily enemy radar units. Well, easily. It can destroy enemy radar units. It has also nice ECM. Let's go back to F-15C Eagle. So yeah, I said about the AIMRAM. That's also a fire and forget missile, not the laser guided. 4 of them, and 2 of them AIM 9M infrared. So yeah, basically against helicopters. I wanted to check something. Okay, that's fine. Oh, okay. It has only 40% accuracy, and the F-15 has 62, so 16 as a base. Yeah, that's basically a beast. Beautifully looking beast. I love it. Unfortunately, it's quite expensive, 275 points. But in that deck we have only 2 kind of anti-air planes, so that's F-15, and I always take them, and that's F-4E Phantom, and I also like them, so why not to take them for 195 points. Both should be fine. So F-15 we can have 4 of them in total, and also F-4E Phantom, also 4 of them in total. And looks like that's all. Finally. Jesus Christ, it took so much time. Whew. Okay, so for today, that's all. We've reviewed the third. Okay. We've reviewed third armored division. In the next video, we will take a look at 8th Infantry Division, the mechanized one. But for today, that's all. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed as I did. That was quite challenging and yeah, it took a lot of time. Anyway, once again, thank you and see you in the next video. Goodbye.